Have you ever looked up and seen a shooting star? Sometimes, those streaks of light are not rocks but human-made satellites returning to Earth. These fiery descents are often planned, not disasters, but part of a new era of responsibility in space. Orbits are a precious resource, and keeping them clear is essential for future exploration. The sight of a satellite burning up is the final act of its useful life, a spectacle of physics and a sign of our growing cosmic awareness. Imagine thousands of tiny metal pieces, each traveling faster than a bullet, circling our planet. For decades, we've launched rockets and satellites, leaving behind debris, old stages, defunct satellites, even flecks of paint. Each piece is a potential hazard. Controlled satellite falls prevent them from becoming dangerous space junk. It's deliberate cosmic housekeeping, keeping pathways to space open for future dreams. So, when you hear a satellite is falling, don't be alarmed. Be curious. The answer reveals a story of ambition, technology, and the challenges of extending our reach beyond Earth. This isn't a tale of disaster, but of design. We're building infrastructure in the heavens, with a plan for its own graceful, fiery end. Let's explore this cosmic cycle together. The story of falling satellites is about beginnings, endings, and our evolving relationship with space. Join us as we uncover how these spectacles shape our future. Why is SpaceX launching so many satellites? The answer: Starlink, an ambitious project to connect the world. Starlink's goal is high-speed internet for every corner of the globe, from remote villages to polar research stations. For many, reliable internet is still a dream. Starlink aims to change that with a vast constellation of satellites. To cover the planet, you need thousands of satellites, each one a link in a global chain. SpaceX launches dozens at a time, building a mega constellation in low Earth orbit. This network is a modern wonder, assembled in space, not on land. Now, if you look up at the right time, you might see a train of Starlink satellites crossing the night sky, a visible sign of invisible connectivity. This network promises to democratize information, bringing education and opportunity to places left behind. But launching thousands of satellites comes with responsibility. Each satellite is complex, with a finite lifespan. When its mission ends, it must be safely removed. The Starlink design includes a plan for every satellite's end of life. It's a cradle-to-grave approach, ensuring our orbital highways aren't cluttered for centuries. The launches are just the beginning. The real story is how we manage what comes next. Starlink's web is about more than connection. It's about stewardship. The future of space depends on how we handle both the beginning and the end. How do thousands of satellites deliver internet? It's a celestial relay race. Each Starlink satellite acts as a router in the sky, connecting to ground dishes that track passing satellites. Signals bounce from user to satellite, then to ground stations linked to the global internet. Unlike geostationary satellites, Starlink orbits much closer, about 550 kilometers up, reducing lag and enabling fast connections. Because they move quickly, your connection is handed off from one satellite to the next, seamlessly. Satellites communicate with each other using lasers, creating a mesh network that can even outpace undersea cables. Each is compact, solar-powered, and equipped with krypton-ion thrusters for maneuvering and deorbiting. This ability to steer is what makes the system sustainable. The network is dynamic, self-organizing, and constantly adapting above our heads. Starlink satellites are marvels of engineering, designed for both performance and responsible retirement. This is the backbone of a new global internet. Satellites don't last forever. Radiation, temperature swings, and micrometeoroids take their toll. Starlink satellites are designed for about 5 years of service before retirement. Even in space, there's a trace of atmosphere, enough to create drag and slowly pull satellites down. Without regular boosts, every low-orbit satellite will eventually fall back to Earth. Sometimes, technical failures accelerate this process: lost power, failed thrusters, or broken communication links. When control is lost, natural orbital decay takes over. For a constellation as large as Starlink, some failures are inevitable. The key is managing these descents safely, so they don't threaten people or other satellites. Planned retirements and unplanned failures both lead to re-entry. The fall itself isn't the problem, uncontrolled debris is. Responsible management is essential for a safe, sustainable space environment. Space isn't empty. Earth is constantly bombarded by energy from the sun, known as space weather. Solar storms can dramatically affect satellites, especially in low Earth orbit. When the sun flares, it heats Earth's upper atmosphere, making it expand and increasing drag on satellites. In February 2022, a minor solar storm caused a batch of Starlink satellites to encounter unexpected resistance. The increased drag was too much. Up to 40 out of 49 new satellites couldn't reach their final orbit, and burned up on re-entry. No debris reached the ground, but it was a costly reminder of the sun's power. Space weather isn't just an abstract concept, it's a real force engineers must plan for. The sun can dictate the fate of our technology. Every launch must account for these unpredictable cosmic influences. The lesson: even the best plans must adapt to the universe's whims. Space is dynamic, and the sun is a powerful player. Our technology must be ready for its surprises. SpaceX's answer to falling satellites is design for demise. Satellites are built from materials that vaporize on re-entry, leaving nothing to hit the ground. At end of life, operators command the satellite to fire its ion thruster, lowering its orbit into the atmosphere. Drag takes over, heating and breaking up the satellite until it's just vapor and dust. This process is targeted over oceans, minimizing any risk. In the past, satellites were abandoned, becoming long-term debris. SpaceX's active deorbiting is a new standard for sustainability. For every satellite launched, there's a plan to bring it home safely. It's a promise to keep our orbital environment clean. As of late 2025, SpaceX has launched over 9,000 Starlink satellites. More than 6,000 are active. The company has approval for up to 12,000, with plans for even more. With so many satellites, re-entries are frequent. Hundreds have already burned up in the atmosphere. On average, at least one Starlink satellite deorbits every few days, a number set to rise as more reach end of life. Starlink satellites orbit above the International Space Station, but must pass through its altitude on re-entry. SpaceX shares trajectory data to avoid collisions, a necessity in crowded orbits. The sky is now a managed system, not just a dumping ground. The balance between launches and removals is key. Responsible deorbiting makes mega-constellations possible. Without it, low Earth orbit would become a minefield of debris. The future of space depends on this careful management. Every satellite's end is as important as its launch. Earth's orbit is a fragile ecosystem, now crowded with decades of debris. Over 36,500 pieces larger than 10 centimeters are tracked. Millions of smaller fragments zip around unseen. Even tiny paint flecks can cause catastrophic damage at orbital speeds. The danger is a chain reaction, Kessler syndrome, where collisions create more debris, threatening all space activity. Proactive deorbiting, like SpaceX's, helps prevent this nightmare scenario. The new standard is one up, one down. Every satellite launch must have a plan for removal. But what about the old junk? Solutions like nets, harpoons, and robotic arms are being tested to clean up legacy debris. It's a complex, expensive challenge, but essential for the future of space. Stewardship is now part of every mission. The future of space depends on both launching new missions and cleaning up after ourselves. Our access to space relies on keeping it safe and sustainable. The future of Starlink is a globally connected humanity, faster, more reliable internet for all. This technology could transform education, healthcare, and opportunity in underserved regions. Starlink's innovations, mass-produced satellites, laser links, are paving the way for interplanetary networks. Imagine a Starlink-like system around Mars, connecting future explorers to Earth. But challenges remain. Astronomers worry about satellite brightness, and space traffic management is more critical than ever. SpaceX is working on solutions, but international cooperation is essential. The story of falling satellites is just the beginning, a prologue to sustainable space infrastructure. We can dream big and be responsible stewards of the final frontier. The fiery trails of re-entry are symbols of a maturing space age. Our journey to the stars is just beginning.